So tonight we are doing a technique whereby we are going to allow your unconscious mind to provide an event in your life that you would like to think about in a different way. We all have negative events in our lives. We all have experiences that have happened to us. Most of the experiences that we consider negative are experiences that have happened to us over which we had no control. So what we want to do is we want to connect you with what we call your higher self. Your higher self is that part of you that is connected to all that is. Your higher self is that part of you that is connected to what Deepak Chopra calls the unlimited field of all that is. You can also consider that aspect of yourself to be directly connected to God. If you don't believe in God, that's okay. You can call it connected to unlimited creativity, endless potential. The idea is that your higher self, because your higher self is connected to the unlimited field of all that is, your higher self has access to all knowledge, all wisdom, and all understanding. Now, when this negative event happened in your life, you, even though you were connected to your higher self, because we're always connected to our higher self, we're never disconnected, but sometimes that connection is not conscious, especially when we're quite young. As we get older and we start doing this kind of work, you know, one of the things I really like to help clients do individually is connect with their higher self. So that theoretically, when you connect with your higher self, you have access then to all wisdom, all knowledge, and all understanding. So imagine how different your life would be today if you could go back in time, take your higher self with you, tell you what you need to know before that event happened. You know that expression, forearmed is forewarned. So that if you could go back in time before that event happened, and your higher self could tell you, regardless of what age the event happened, what you need to know in order to go through that event, but with some understanding and some wisdom and some knowledge, so that it wouldn't affect you in the same negative way. That's what we're going to do tonight. This is kind of a mixture of techniques. We're going to reframe a negative event. We're going to use a modified timeline technique, and we're also going to connect you with your higher self. So we've actually got 3 different techniques going on here at the same time, and I find that it works very well. Because I find that when we go into an altered state, right now we are experiencing intellectual knowledge at this level of consciousness. The knowledge that we're experiencing here is intellectual, which is great, it's wonderful, it's fabulous. However, chances are it's not going to change you. What we want is heart knowledge. Heart knowledge changes you. And that's the benefit of going into what we call an altered state. That's the benefit of going into self-hypnosis. That's the benefit of going into meditation. Is that this intellectual mind, which is fabulous and wonderful, you know, we're honoring it, but that's also where your critical mind is. And your critical mind has a tendency to tell you things that are negative. And so we want to bypass that critical mind. Because the negative event that happened in your past is having a negative event on your current life. It's having a negative impact on the now, right? Because every time you think about that negative event, chances are you're rehearsing all the negative stuff that happened to you. You're rehearsing your negative reaction, you're rehearsing this negative thing over and over and over again. Even though it may have happened 20 years ago or 60 years ago.
Giving it energy.
Absolutely. We are giving it energy by having it reprocessed over and over and over again in our minds. I mean, it might as well have happened yesterday. Only in a way it's worse because it happened so long ago, and because we've been rehearsing this negative scenario over and over and over again, that neural pathway is more deeply ingrained. That negative neural pathway is even more deeply ingrained if the longer ago it happened.